Hi there, planner friends, and welcome to a new plan with me, the first in February 2019 for me. And if you've been keeping up with my plan with me's, you'll know that every week I tend to plan with a different pen, and then I use that pen throughout the week in my school and work life. And that's kind of been coincidental, or just it hasn't really been planned out, and I figured this week I would be more deliberate about it, because I do feel like in order to really be successful in my no spend for the year, I need to kind of confront those habits that have been setting me back in the past. And one of them is my issues with needing to complete a collection of sorts. And that is definitely something I was guilty with these guys. So I told you last plan with me that I bought this fancy looking Uniball Jetstream pen, and I pretty much just purchased that thing because I thought it looked neat and I was feeling stressed out, and it has like a really, I just thought it was something different to my collection, I guess, at the time. And it's not really a pen for me in general because it's so thick. It's got like a 1.0mm pen nib, if we can, whoop. So it's really thick, she's thick. And rather than, I don't know, admit that I was wrong and just chalk it up to a defeat or just try to work with it or something like that, I doubled down. And shortly after I purchased this pen last year, I acquired these guys, which are the Uniball Jetstream RT, which is retractable, BLK or black color series pens, and it comes in a pack of 5. I think I paid about $10 for them on Amazon, although I've seen some crazy prices at like Staples, like $25, which is ridiculous. Don't do that. And they come in this yellow black, green black, red black, blue black, and purple black. But they were doubling down on my poor decision to buy this Jetstream pen because they are also 1.0mm pen tips. And yeah, I will say I haven't really given these guys the chance. I like pick it up for a couple of days and then I just move on to something else. And it's usually because I buy something else. But I'm gonna give it a shot this week because so far I've really liked incorporating new pens into my planning system, or just in my day-to-day work and school sort of system. So if we look back on last week here, again, with the way my schedule is, I have lots of free time on Fridays, Friday afternoons, and this is the day that I've usually planned, and today's no different. But as you can see, I've pretty much, aside from my color coding to denote the times I have class, been sticking with one type of pen, and that is the Jetstream 0.5 in my Uni Style Fit Meister 3 pen body. And surprisingly, I said in the last plan with me that this was like fatiguing to me in long periods of writing, and after using it all week in class and work in the planner, just all week, I think I like this a lot more than I used to. I think I have a fresh appreciation for it, which is another one of the intended goals, I guess, now that I'm doing this every week, is to figure out what I actually really love. I quickly abandoned the 5 ink pen body, I think on Monday, because it was kind of cumbersome and it wasn't weighted enough, and I didn't want to use the Dr. Grip pen body because I felt like I used that a lot for the last couple of months last year. So I switched out the inks in this guy. So I have the Jetstream, the new one, because I did kill the other cartridge. I have Mandarin Orange, which is pretty much the reddest orange you can find. I have a pink, and this has been my go-to pen for class and for work and for on the go this week, and I haven't had any regrets. In fact, it's been like a nice reminder, and I kind of wish I had a pen loop on this notebook. I feel like it would go really well and it'd be super convenient to have it there, but alas, I don't. So this isn't fatiguing to me, at least I don't find it that way. It's just, if you're going from a really thick pen body to a thinner one, it's kind of jarring. So maybe I had like a day where it felt a little foreign because I was so used to like writing with things that were very thick, and then I had to transition. But after that, I think this is one of my favorite pens now. And I did also drop it on the floor a couple of times, but it still looks awesome. And even with my greasy little grubby hands all over it, I don't think it looks that bad. So this was a very welcome surprise, and I'm glad this worked out. Whoop. And of course I dropped it again. Now for the actual plan of last week, I do like the way that this turned out, except I didn't utilize these due dates. And something I've realized this week is that I know when these things are due. So these 2 things will always be due next Tuesday. These 2 things will always be due next Thursday, which means that this kind of column is redundant. And I've tried to remedy that by maybe picking a date where I would actually do the assignment, but at the same time, I've been doing that for maybe some of the things, but then not for the rest. I've been like still reverting back to the due dates, so I think I need to commit next week. Maybe give myself a reminder in the highlighted sections, just saying that these things are due always on Tuesday or whatever, and use this column then to plan out when I'm actually going to do the work. I think that might be a better use of that space, perhaps. This tracker didn't really change because I was unfortunately unable to schedule any observations. I did send a lot of email communications with various members of school districts and everything, so everything's coming together. It's just not this week. Hopefully next week. But other than that, I really liked this week, so I think I am going to do something similar here. For the next week, I have nothing really special going on, except for possibly Tuesday. But before we do that, before we get into this week planning, I think I should probably do a pen test of what I'm going to be using in school and for this spread in the coming week. So let's see. So again, these are all the 1.0 millimeter nib size. I haven't used these in a I would say I haven't used these for probably since the summer. So let's see if they've still got the goods. Let's see. Okay, so these are the pens I think I'm going to take with me this week. And I do really like the colors, especially the red black, the yellow black, the green black, and I mean the blue black is, it's nice, it's okay. The purple black is just purple, I mean, and yeah, the yellow black is actually brown, but still I really like those colors a lot. The black is black, so at the very least, if I want to throw these out the window or what have you during this coming week, I'll have a black in standby, I suppose. And what I was doing with this post-it was just making sure that the nibs were kind of clean before I started writing. Sometimes the ink kind of blobs and globs at the end, probably because it's like that hybrid ink with oil. So it's oil and ink all together in order to make it like smoother. It's an emulsification, I think. But yeah. So those are the pens. So I think it is safe to say we can go on to planning out the week. Let's see. Okay. So now I am going to speed you up and I'll see you on the other side. Bye. And the first thing, of course, I'm using is this yellow Hobonichi ruler, but the little details are so small that my normal Jetstream pen is just too thick to get through it, so I have to use last week's pen in order to finesse it a little bit. And I'm just inserting all of my work stuff. And after that, I pull out my color coding Sarasa pens, which are working really well. I think I almost have it solidified in my brain that these colors denote these specific classes. The problem with memorizing this is that I absolutely have no idea what my classes are called. They're all education based, and yeah, I just don't know. And then I put in that it was Lunar New Year, or Chinese New Year, because my husband is part Chinese, and I wanted to kind of pick up on all the lucky red and just holiday vibes with some of my washi, and I had so much difficulties with it because ideally this color combination should really work. Like the purple that's in the cushion that the cat sits on should pick up the like dark bluey purple that's in that really old Planner Society washi, but I get kind of fed up with it here soon. For right now, all I'm doing is just sticking in my homework section, which went absolutely unused. I'm recording this voiceover from the perspective of next week, so I think that's a little helpful because it tells you what happened in real time. And if you do want to check out how it turned out, you can always visit my Instagram. And I have begun to dab with the marker. I find that that is a really helpful step. And now I am completely not satisfied enough, and I decide that what this color scheme needs is a warm yellow. I know. Just like the absolute worst decision I could have made. And because of that bad decision, I go ahead and undo everything else. So I cut out all the blue in that Planner Society washi with the bright idea that I will fill in the blue spots with some cats. So I know this is sped up really fast, and all told, this sped up portion is probably 4 minutes long or something like that. But it took me 4 freaking ever to fussy cut out those little cats from the other washi. But you know what? I think I've created a very unique pattern that I really enjoy. Enjoy too much. And also, I have issues with washi on this paper. I don't know if it's just because the washi I'm using is a little bit old, like maybe 2 to 3 years old, and the adhesive is like reacting weird, but if I lay the washi down for more than like a minute, it just absolutely wants to take the paper with it. So that's unfortunate. But that doesn't stop me from peeling up some washi. And now's about the time that I realized it's the yellow that is wrong, not necessarily the washi placement. Like I tried to perhaps cover it up with a thin strip. But I can't get over the washi. It just looks so unbalanced and weird to me. By the end of this, I actually did like the spread, and I think the color choices were unique and not something I would really venture into all that much. But here I was just kind of frustrated. And also half paying attention because I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That is what I have been binging. I've been rewatching this series. And right now my dog is trying to fight with my cat. But that's okay. So here I place that washi strip in its final destination, and I think it works out really well there. And with the washi in its final destination, I realized that I must address the big yellow blob in the corner, or the elephant in the room, what have you. But not before fussy cutting some more cats. Okay, so now it's the part where I think most people would probably just let it go. I mean, it's only 7 days until the next week, right? But I couldn't let it go, so I pulled out the Hobonichi Weeks supplemental notebook. I cut out a strip, I measured it to roughly, like eyeballed it, and then I pasted that over the whiteout I applied on the yellow highlighter. And it was an extra unnecessary step, and from the view of that camera, it looks actually pretty seamless. It looks nice. I like it. However, sorry, that was my dog again. I had to put her in my lap. But I couldn't leave well enough alone. I couldn't just be happy with that, so I put in gray. And you know what? It actually worked well, because this was definitely a cooler toned spread than I think I anticipated. I think the thing that throws this spread off and didn't make that color choice so apparent is that my school colors, or my class colors, are kind of warm in general, so it kind of throws it off. So whereas those might have looked really nice with the yellow, they did not look good in the grand scheme of things. So I've learned, and I have since used this washi combination unedited, I guess, in my Hobonichi A6 journal, and it looks really nice. And that does not have the color coding system in it, so take that for what you will. But that's my planner spread. If you'd like to see it all filled out, you can definitely check my Instagram. I'll have the details posted below. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.